Ooh,
Hopefully.
yeah, let's post it somewhere. It doesn't move.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So guess we can wait for audience, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can. You are the one with the golden ears.
Okay, okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Technically, it is not having distortion, right? I mean,
No, no.
good audio, right?
Yeah. Can you? Yeah, cool. No problem. Wait, should you? Okay, just a second.
Yeah, I'll probably kill it.
All right, so we have viewer.
I mean, that viewer is myself. Just saying.
That's also correct. Oh,
Yeah. Technically, people won't be watching the thing, so because it's kind of night, right?
no, that's not a problem. People do come.
Yeah, Barack Obama gave us firecrackers, so probably he's um, right. So yeah, I mean, at this point we could probably start the podcast because anyway.
All right. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the OpenTalks episode number 37. And again, we are back. So, this week we saw a lot of,
Yeah.
phone launches, and more are yet to come. Actually. So, yeah, I guess let's roll the intro bit.
Absolutely. Let's go. And we are back.
All right. So, yeah, bro, talking about phone launches. There are some really good phones coming up.
Absolutely.
Costly, yes, but
Yeah.
yeah, phones are there.
Hmm.
So, as you already know, that iPhone is releasing its next series.
Yes.
That is 14, 14 Plus,
14
Pro, and
normal.
14 Pro Max. Correct? So, it is interesting. We already discussed this thing that we are reminding people that
Yeah.
now iPhones are going with different chipset and the same series. So, the current iPhone, which was there, 30, right? It has a 15 bionic. The newer ones, 14 and 14 Plus, have the same chipset.
Correct.
Nothing changed. But the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max,
Yes. They
they
have.
do have a 16 bionic.
Yeah.
Now, what is new about it? What is
So-
the chipset?
The chipset, when you think about it, it is an architectural increment, right? But they can take different routes.
Okay.
Either they can increase the performance, they can increase some kind of a hardware acceleration. They can add a new hardware acceleration. They can maybe add new features to it, right? Or maybe increase power efficiency. So this term around, I think Apple has focused on two key things: little bit higher performance while delivering it at very low power. So what I'm basically saying is that your phone with same milliamp hour of battery will last way longer
Yeah.
than the old generation. So first of all, it might be due to the fact that it is 4 nanometer
Yeah.
instead of 5 nanometer, which was the older processor, right? So currently they have not also increased any transistor count, just 1 billion, which is not that much
Okay.
when you compare with the older. Okay. Arjun, send me a message.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so comparing to the older version, the newer version just has 1 billion more transistors, and that ain't much. It is just an incremental amount.
I see.
They may have thrown in a little bit of some little bit of features, but not really much.
Yeah.
And they are not even boasting high performance cores. They are even comparing this A16 Bionic with A13 Bionic. So yeah,
Interesting.
correct. So yeah, I mean, like at last, at the end of the day, if you are buying the latest phone, that is the 14, right? 14 Pro and Pro Max, you are just getting a bit more power efficiency, maybe a bit more battery life, maybe with the larger screens they pack with. It might be same, just saying the run time of the devices.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit better, but not huge margin.
Right.
But if it was A15, it would have been a very huge margin.
Cool.
And I think we already established that Apple chips are already way ahead of the curve.
Yeah, they are always right.
So they don't have any more competition like
Correct.
beat with, right?
Yep.
So one terms they were already beating, but they wanted to like do a little bit more for power efficiency.
Okay.
You know that normally Androids are packed with 6,000 mAh, 5,000, maybe even 10,000 if those energizer phones, right? I mean,
Yep.
so it's like Android always has a lot of batteries right, to pack with.
Right.
And that is mainly due to the fact that the SoCs are not that
Power efficient. Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's not that power efficient at all.
Right.
So, yeah, technically,
Okay.
we are now having a better CPU. Yeah, it's better, for the whole environment.
Okay.
Because we are packing smaller batteries, which should maybe even bigger batteries. I mean, what was the size difference maybe? Probably it should be similar. I mean, we don't.
You mean the mAh of it?
Yeah, mAh of the battery.
No, yeah.
It should be similar. I mean, they are not even talking about mAh anywhere in the
Correct.
keynote. So technically, I don't think even it's released.
Yes.
Even it might be a little bit higher. I don't think it will be lower.
No.
It should be
They
higher.
won't go lower.
Correct. So yeah, if it is higher, then yeah, I mean, we already know that these iPhones are only having around less than 4,000 mAh, right?
Yeah.
Batteries.
Now the Pro Max model has more than 4,000. Little bit more.
Little bit more. So it is not, not that that much energy dense. Energy dense in the device. So technically, with this, you don't have to cycle the batteries that much.
Correct.
So the battery replacement will also get less. Lesser battery replacement overall.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, all for the environment, you can say. It's really good.
Absolutely.
Right. So I can see that two people have joined our chat.
Yep.
Yeah, and they have also left. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, what do you think? Like, what are you guys?
Yeah. The chip is whatever you told is absolutely same use. There's one very good new feature, that is, if you are stuck somewhere, you have a feature. Basically, you don't need any mobile tower.
Correct.
You just need to connect with a satellite. Now, connecting with a satellite, as you know, is a very sensitive engine.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not sensitive. Very high gain antenna.
I guarantee. Good.
Yeah.
So they have built similar, not exact same, but similar kind of antenna into iPhone. So you need to basically adjust the your
Align the iPhones.
Yes.
Align the iPhone in the proper way.
Correct. And then after you align it, you can basically send some SOS messages to the satellite, and then technically you can get your service.
So basically, one kidney for one message.
Yeah. Technically, they will ask if you want to get saved. Press yes, and after you get saved,
you lose one kidney.
You lose one kidney. Correct. And as soon as
for 2 years, I think there is no kidney exchange. It's free.
Yeah, for initial, premium thing.
Yeah, for 2 years you'll be like stuck. You'll deliberately be stuck somewhere. You'll be like using the satellite thing, and you'll get used to it.
Correct.
Now you'll be like, okay, done.
Yeah.
Like 2 years are done. You'll be like, oh yeah, we are stuck. Let's use satellite. The moment you are taken back to home, one kidney is gone. Then second time, you again do it, and then you'll be like, shit, why is my hand so swelling? And you'll be like, oh shit, I have only 2 kidneys. I already used 2 kidneys.
Yep.
So yeah, satellite thing is not available in India.
There you go. Yeah, it's not available anywhere currently. It will be launching in USA, Canada some time later, but in India, I guess.
Just saying, the satellites are on the top. Just saying.
Yeah, technically you are correct.
Satellites are there. It's just that these companies want the software locking.
Yes.
That is all it is.
That's all it is.
The satellites are there. The communication is there. The antenna is there. Every hardware and every software necessary to communicate is already there.
Just the if statement is given.
Yeah, just if you are in a country, then you are, it's basically a racial discrimination. That's it.
Correct.
Companies just basically try to, do a racial discrimination by not saying it's a racial discrimination. So that is all it is.
Absolutely.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested in finding out if people can hack the hardware to connect to other satellites.
Correct.
Right. There are multiple of open satellites out there. So technically, when the jailbreaks or something comes up.
Right. Arjun is saying that it is due to government. There you go. Indian government always comes into the picture.
Yeah.
Any episode will be pick up. At least one Indian government shit will be
There.
going around.
Correct. Absolutely. Indian
Oh,
government.
man.
Thought.
Yeah, I mean, what to say? USA government is chuma.
Yeah, absolutely.
Canada government is chuma.
Yeah.
What are they saying, man? Like,
Indian government sees a new thing. They're like, what is this? We need to prevent.
wait, what is it?
Shut up, mate.
Yeah, there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Gonna get the channel banned.
Yeah. I mean,
Technically, he owns the channel, so that is fine. Anyway.
if anything happens, Arjun Hogan will be
FBI.
No, CBI.
Okay, CBI. Yeah, correct. Arjun lives in India. Yeah, you know.
Oh,
Now you know.
yeah, Arjun lives in, what do you say, Kerala also.
Yeah, just saying.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, man. I guess the satellite thing, if someone is able to hack, technically we can use the open satellites. You know, there are multiple transponders which are open to the public, which people can use. I mean, if they have the hardware. I mean, obviously, if you don't have the hardware, you are out of the game, right?
Yeah.
But if you have the hardware, you can connect to the satellites, and with the satellites, you can just send a message to another person who's in the connected to the same transponder. Just saying. So technically, they can develop a system where there is an emergency system already listening on a public, free transponder.
Right.
And somehow the iPhone can be hacked.
Okay.
To connect to those transponders instead. Yeah. Because they are all using same frequency. We are not talking different frequency or different communication, receivers or transmitters or anything. It's just basically same thing, right? Yeah, it will be an interesting thought.
Right.
And also, I'm like curious if it is downstream and upstream, right? Duplex.
Okay.
Or it's just beaming. So there is no way for it to know if it was really sent.
Right.
Or not. It just tries to send maybe multiple times.
Yeah.
3 times maybe it sends, and it just accept that it might be sent. Should be probably sent.
Yeah, what Arjun is saying is not sure. But what I can say is, Arjun, like, you are correct, because Pixel 4, right? Pixel 4 had that hovering thing, which you can basically, you could do this gestures, and maybe near the phone, if you arrive, and technically the phone will turn on before you even touch it. So all those things were having the new hardware, which uses radar, right? At the end, some kind of a radar.
Yeah, I mean,
power.
That is correct. Yeah.
So that was turned off in India because of the Indian government.
Correct, absolutely.
So that was a radar which was having a local range. This is a satellite shit, right?
I mean, as long as the Indian government don't get a back key, I mean, they won't allow it.
Yeah, correct.
Right, they have back key towards the cellular communication. They have a back key towards the GPS and all those communications. Right, everywhere there is a back channel, right? Back door for them. But I don't think for satellite communication there can be a back door. Because point to point. Right? And depends on which satellites. If you are communicating to Russian satellites, what can Indian government do? It's not Indian government space, right? I mean, at last, what Indian government needs is every data to be sent over Indian government channels. Right. That way, they can monitor everything.
Yeah.
So probably they are worried about if someone is sending some bomb is there, bomb is here, bomb is somewhere else, messages, right? Over the channel, right? But the probability for that particular thing to be done is nearly zero. And if there is, then if Apple can integrate it in a tiny phone, I'm pretty sure that anyone with enough technical knowledge can build a transmitter which can transmit the signals to a public space.
100%.
So I don't get the point of it. It's always, Indian government is like, they're pointless normally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe government has not allowed it. That's a pretty good theory.
Yeah,
So,
other than
yeah.
that, man, see, that phone has improved the camera system. It has, like, technically, I'm not so sure, but I'm not sure about the actual hardware being improved or not. But on paper, the sensors are different.
Yeah.
Right, and the thickness of the camera bulge, right? There is also increased.
The millimeters has increased.
Yeah. So yeah, any time in camera module, if the space, I mean the vertical space is increasing, that is technically better.
Yeah, that means more lenses are there.
Yeah, or maybe what do you say, more two lenses are there and distance between them.
Yeah.
So that makes a focus point
much more smoother.
Yeah. And aperture very low. I mean,
maybe also the bigger aperture.
Yeah.
Bigger
correct,
aperture. Yeah.
Correct.
So more light, more exposure.
And then the selfie cameras are now autofocus. So it's a good thing. Now,
selfie camera is autofocus. That is something we haven't seen for ages. I mean,
just saying, the new phone Motorola is going to launch S30 Fusion also has autofocus selfie camera.
One other thing is in the old days Sony also released phone Z series something which had literal manual focusing front camera.
Interesting.
But the thing is, it never took off because no one wanted the feature. No one wanted I'm calling someone. Who expects a phone to have variable focus? Because they always put in a particular distance, right? But it's always the next level of detail, right? The next step which comes. So obviously the cameras have improved to a point where now we can't get any more better sensors. Right? I mean, now the blurriness is coming from just literally the focus itself. We are not focused enough.
Yeah.
So why not just give a focus option?
Correct.
Right. It can be shittier focus. That's fine. Any focus is better than no focus. Fixed focus. Right? So there, I mean, Apple has done a pretty good job, I think.
Yeah.
And pretty much every industry will follow them. I mean,
correct.
Motorola has already done it.
Yeah, I think this is something. Some what do we say? See, there are OEMs like Sony and Samsung. Right? They are the ones who manufacture this camera. So they have evolved the technology. Evolved the technology in such a way that it is cheaper also.
Correct.
And then they have put an option. While if Apple was going to this Sony or Samsung, that gave me the options. Now they are putting more of an autofocus options at cheaper prices, and manufacturer will say, yeah, technically if you put this, it will look better.
Correct.
Because now people care a lot about
selfies and
So
the selfies, groupies, and probably also vloggers are coming out more. Instagrammers where they are recording too much with the front camera. Right? Talking about front cameras, we now have a dynamic notch.
There you go. So interesting. I mean, till now, I guess from iPhone 10, we had that
teardrop design.
Yeah.
We had design. I mean, not teardrop.
Yeah.
Like a
rhombus kind of design, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Notch, literally.
Yeah. Still, it is there in iPhone 14 and 14 Plus.
Yeah, but it is less. I mean, it was thinner. That's all the difference.
Correct. Now with the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max, it is filled.
Technically, what have they laughed at when Samsung did the hole punch?
Yeah.
They embraced it and made a bigger one.
Bigger.
In the middle. And now they are embracing it more by making it bigger, depending on your element. Technically, I like it, but they said it's bad.
Correct. And they are naming it not an fill notch. No. Fill it out. No.
Absolutely not.
What it is? Dynamic?
I forgot. Dynamic something.
Yeah. Dynamic island.
Dynamic island.
Yeah,
right.
Dynamic island. So it's an island technically.
Oh, yeah.
It is disconnected from every other elements. It's in the middle of the screen in the working. And technically, to make it dynamic, what they done is this is the much biggest pill. You increase the pill.
Why not?
Why not, right? And then put the recent apps or maybe timer or whatever dynamic things going on, songs and all those things, which has dynamic notification, right? They are there, like here and there.
I'm still thinking. We have seen under-screen cameras, right? Lot of times. Why can't the under-screen cameras be used, but not for cameras? Just for the camera, you can have a hole punch. Right? For the others, like something like that thing, proximity sensor. All those things can be under-screen.
Correct. Right. That is absolutely right. I think their that projector of those dots, right? Infrared dots, and the reader, they are the one who is consuming most of the space.
What if the projector is also having a notch, but the reader is not, because reader technically can read through the screen.
Right. So then it will be smaller. I mean, see, this is what they already planned. It will come in the iPhone 15 or 16.
Right. When the ports all are gone.
They know how to optimize. So they just put it for.
Correct. So talking about ports, the SIM is gone.
Oh, already one SIM was gone. Second SIM was normal SIM. Now both of them are eSIM.
Absolutely. So now either you go full iPhone or you go full Android. Your phone is toast.
Yep.
It is toast.
Yep.
You are not going to receive any calls.
Absolutely.
You are not going to receive any calls ever until your phone is fixed. Or you tell to the you tell to probably your I think operator only, right? Probably not Apple itself. Operator that you have lost this. I need a duplicate SIM. At that point they will issue a SIM on that number, and you have to put in an Android device for receiving the calls, and that will take around 1 to 2 days, right? If I'm correct.
At least a day.
At least a day. So technically, the moral of the story is don't let your phone die. If it dies, it is dead.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you have some important calls, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
It is done. So technically,
always keep a backup number.
Technically, this will also keep people from switching to Android.
Yes.
Because they'll be like, I have to go to some telecom provider and then provide my Aadhaar or something else. Then they'll be like asking for this, that, maybe photo, like stand there, right?
Okay.
Take a photo.
Yeah.
And at last you'll be like, you know what? This phone works. Why not just upgrade it? Where it is like easy.
Yeah.
Apple Cloud syncing or something. Right? Done. Maybe even SIM syncs. And at that point, maybe if it doesn't right now, probably it will sync in the next few generations.
Correct.
So, yeah. I guess, I mean,
it should be mentioned. Yeah, yes.
I mean, I'm still, I don't know why SIMs are this big, right? I mean, technically, I do have a SIM here, which, oh yeah, there you go, right? SIMs are this big, when you think about it. This is the smallest we can get, right? So, why not we have a very smaller SIM, microscopic SIM? Like, technically, it needs to be only this much size.
Yes.
Talking about this only has around 256K or 128K depending on the SIM.
Yeah.
It's nothing. The SIM has no storage. I mean, it's technically nothing compared to memory cards, which can go up to like 512 GB, right?
Yep.
So making a SIM which looks like a strip is very easy. Right?
Yeah.
And even the contacts are like, see the contacts. It's a very big contacts, right?
Yep.
We can technically make it 3 dots or 4 dots. And that is it. And only problem is to insert it, it's very hard. But that is way better than having no SIM card.
Yeah. See, the point is that, it's not about storage at all.
Correct. Correct.
See, the moment Zenfone 9 introduced headphone chip in that small form, I knew they're just fooling around. Nothing else.
Correct. But they are just checking.
Yeah.
What is the breaking point? What can we remove from this thing?
Exactly.
The Steve Jobs route, right?
Yeah.
Steve Jobs route is like you remember the thing, right? The phone is not smaller; it is chunkier. Steve Jobs put in water and said, "See, bubbles are coming. Why is bubbles coming? Air is there. Where is air? Air should be in the space. Avoid the space." And same to that. Oh, your phone is. Do you need the port to charge? I mean, technically it has wireless charging. Right? I mean, why do you need a port? Technically, you can transfer data and all those things. I mean, who does that these days? They don't need a port. Yeah, we are saying they don't need a port.
Correct.
So, like that, they're probably going to remove everything.
Yep.
Until they're going to, probably they can't remove speakers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in the future, in the distant future, Apple will introduce some future with speakers. And if you enter a room, then that speakers will be used as speakers.
Yeah.
And maybe only earpiece will use that.
Correct.
Not the loudspeaker engine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at that point, this will be the thing.
Yeah.
Apple will be selling $1,500 speaker module.
Correct, absolutely.
So by default, iPhones will have the screens vibrating. The vibrating screen will basically produce some 1-2 dB sound. They will produce a module of speaker. If you attach this module to your iPhone with this massive connector, that will increase the dB to 10.
I mean,
All that which is
just saying 10 is very low.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when it's external speaker, right? So and MagSafe, so
Yeah.
2
MV, right?
Correct.
Technically, if everyone goes wireless, I'll probably buy some sort of a wireless jammer.
Yeah.
And just go into places and see how many people get pissed off.
Oh, so Rushik is asking something. Will iPhones after 20 years cost like 20,000 K? Yeah, I mean, of course. See, you know how much bread costs in that country? Which country?
Oh yeah, where the depreciation happened.
Yeah.
10,000 something.
Yeah.
Local currency.
Yeah, I mean, depreciation won't happen in US.
Yeah.
But other countries will technically depreciate. So see, in India, we convert $1,000 to INR before 5 years. It was around 60,000, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
50-60,000. Now it is 80,000. Right?
Yeah.
So see the difference. Like this is how it will be costlier in other countries, not the US. US, I think they will increase 1,500 to 2,000 maybe. Not more than that maybe.
So moral story is, you have to always have a cousin in US.
But I saw news while surfing. They are going to do something about these USA things. USA iPhones coming here. They will be knowing that this is from USA and they will not produce warranty. This is coming.
So middle finger to international warranty then?
Technically yes, man. Technically yes.
Then good luck talking to businessmen.
Correct.
Maybe with Apple Care Plus they will give.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, what Rushik is saying is in 2010 iPhones were $300-400. Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, see, the point is that 2010 and 2022, the difference of money, I mean, what do we say, inflation,
yes,
has also increased. So if we consider that and other things, then the iPhone is not that much costly compared to 2010. It is costlier. I'm not denying. The $1,000 mark was when they hit. It was not required. Now if they hit $1,000 mark, it is fine. At that point it is costlier. Now it is not because of the inflation.
Correct.
But yeah, 20 dollars no.
I mean, when you think about it, in the old days we used to buy high-end phones for 10K, 18K.
18K.
That is high end.
I think high end.
The Eureka days we are having.
Man, Eureka, cheap Eureka. Remember the Galaxy days? 35K. You get the flagship.
Yeah, correct.
Now it is 1,35K.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh man.
Very good.
Yeah, that is costly. See,
And back then, 35K for one to pay is very hard.
yeah, that's also good.
The inflation is just buying capacity of a person.
Yes.
If the buying capacity of a person increases, then companies will also need more because people will all buy the higher end. If people all buy the higher end, they will try to make a higher end,
Correct.
which costs more,
Yeah.
so that they can capture some margin of people who can only pay for that particular amount.
Very good.
Right?
Absolutely. Right. That's what they are doing with OnePlus now.
Absolutely.
There is OnePlus Ultra series coming.
Yeah, Ultra is coming. Ultra.
Yeah. Till now it was Pro Max.
I mean,
Now it is Ultra.
they were like,
Yeah.
something T. And we were like, okay, fine. That thing was going on, right?
Oh.
Then one day they dropped Pro.
Yep.
They were like, you know what? We are going to drop Pro, right? And that was like, okay, fine, Pro. Now they are going Ultra, right? So, yeah, why not? At this point, OnePlus is basically any phone company. I actually don't see much OnePlus nowadays. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I also don't see
it. It is disappearing.
No, man. See. I do see OnePluses. Those nodes.
Yeah.
Node 2T and all those things. Fits in the hand of moms and aunties and all.
Right.
Maybe uncles and all those things.
Node was a series made for people who experiment, people who want to, mess with Android.
Yep.
Right? And how it ended up, like in aunties and uncles.
See, the problem is that those people, I mean, moms and dads, right? They don't want a costly phone. Correct. They just need a phone who can run WhatsApp, YouTube.
Yeah, maybe a little bit fast. I mean, snappy.
Correct.
If it is not that slow, I mean, I'm talking like not that slow, right? I mean, if they click WhatsApp, if it opens within 5 seconds, they'll be okay.
That is fine.
They'll be okay with it.
Yeah. The flagship phones only youngsters need because they understand the difference. And they also need it.
And some people like Arjun needs, enterprise grade.
Yep.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah, correct. So see, the problem is that these costly phones, they're releasing, but now youngsters know that this is not OnePlus. This is Oppo releasing one in name of OnePlus.
Correct, absolutely.
Slider is going away. What the fuck?
Right.
So yeah, that is where they are like
Yeah, that is why they are basically too costly and basically not fitting the enthusiast.
Correct.
Margin. Correct. Now it's the general people margin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What he's saying is, Rishik is saying that 35K after inflation in 10 years becomes 65K. It's not wrong.
Correct. It's not inflation, man. It's a buying power. Like, that is what increased.
I mean, that is technically inflation.
Yeah, technically yes. But the problem is, inflation is terms of banknote. How much are in circulation and how much is backing it and all those things, right? But inflation actually, this is the equation, right? You can say. And buying power is affected by the inflation. But inflation is not just the one variable which decides the buying power of the person. Because we can see that people are getting better jobs now.
Yeah.
Right? So many people are getting better jobs.
Yep.
Software field, right?
Yep.
Doctors.
Yep.
Then more scientists are emerging.
Yep.
So many people are getting a really good salary, right? I mean, like you can say at least 60,000 plus per month.
Yep.
So more people are getting the salary, that means more buying power.
Correct.
Right? While still having, what's happening is then there is a society who is also getting backward.
Yeah.
That's always there. Those who can excel, but they are not excelling because they didn't get the opportunities. Right. So yeah, both are there. The money saturation comes in one place.
Right.
So technically, the buying power of one portion is increasing.
Yes.
Buying power of one portion is decreasing. Right. For example, farmers are more in jeopardy nowadays compared to the older days where they could have they are well off. Those days. So yeah, I mean what I'm saying is inflation basically affects everyone, but this buying power can differ depending on which situation you are.
Yeah.
And so many people in India are getting better situations nowadays.
Right. Yeah. Rushik is saying like older people saw younger people using OnePlus, and then they bought it, but now younger people are left.
Technically yes.
Yes.
Technically yes, but I think this is the situation. When youngsters try to buy OnePlus, they will create a wave, and that wave will alert shopkeepers to stock this particular thing. And this means the elderly people are going to see, oh yeah, this is good phone, this looks good, like fits in my hand, okay, not that costly, okay, and then ask the youngsters, yeah, this is good, I mean, if you want you can buy it. Then they'll be like, okay, this is it.
Correct.
Here you go, cash. I mean, they don't use credit card, just see. Here you go, cash.
Yeah, correct. Oh.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There you go, done. Or Bajaj Finance or something, right? I mean,
Yep.
obviously, EMI.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is, anyway, the phones doesn't matter nowadays. It's like, now, for me, personal opinion, it's either Samsung or other. Samsung stands up. Normally by having some new or, something like, what you can say, some features which a power user needs. And an enterprise customer, someone like a businessman needs. That is Samsung. While the others are trying to get the gamers and all the other people.
Okay.
Right? So they are technically useless for these people who are opting for Samsung. Okay. Where the business people they don't want frame interpolation on games. I mean, why do they even game at the first point?
Correct.
Right? They technically want more battery backup.
Yes.
By optimizing, and maybe in the time of battery needs they want to close all the apps. But these group require less app to be run simultaneously. But the app currently running to be snappy. But the business knowledge people will need every app to be run simultaneously. It need not be snappy, the currently running app. So just saying, this is the deviation we are having. Then there is Apple strangely sitting somewhere else. Right? And that is just the people who don't want to think about anything. I want a phone just for calling, maybe a little bit of WhatsApp. What can I get? I have iPhone, done. And that is the situation. I mean, people in India will be like, people with money buy iPhone. It's not the case. I mean, iPhone is a default phone for so many people outside. Right? It's like you can even say that in US, more iPhones are there than Androids.
Correct.
Right? So technically, we can even say that iPhones might be cheaper than Androids. And even in India, it is high-end iPhone costs lesser than high-end Samsung.
That is so.
Yeah. So
what Rushik is saying, like even Apple has the enterprise user support.
Yeah. What I'm saying is
he's saying different things. Like Abhiram is saying that Samsung actually has enterprise grade features built into the OS.
Correct. Right. So for example, people want to do some statistics, some analysis. They can technically use Microsoft Excel in phone and the fully blown Excel. Not really the
not the
Android
thing.
Yeah, Android or even iOS, smaller grade Excel.
And with S Pen you can do.
Yes, and even S Pen. See, being a manager, let's say you're managing, and someone sends a graph, they'll be like, why is this? Round it.
Correct.
This should be this. Why is this? Give me an explanation. Write it down. Send it. Done. Right. maybe even someone who is like trying to explain something. He wants to be like, okay, you know what, this is something I need to write it down. So they don't want to type it inside the document. Rather, annotating the PDF, what they do is they write in the PDF like a normal person, right? And these things really help our businesses,
Right.
talking businesses, but not really developers. I mean, see, we are also technically enterprise people, right? When we are
Correct.
working for a company,
Yes.
we are technically enterprise in the enterprise, but we don't need an enterprise grade phone.
Yeah.
The reason is we are not doing those kind of stuff. But those are in the higher level management. They will require these features, and that is the reason why you will see people at CEOs levels. They will have two phones. One will be an iPhone.
Yeah.
Other will be probably a Samsung high flagship.
Yeah, because I don't know this.
Absolutely.
Correct.
So, yeah.
What is that, man?
Giggity.
Okay, what is that?
Quackmare.
Oh, what?
Quackmare. Family Guy.
Okay, I have not seen that.
Oh, giggity. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Cool.
he always says giggity. Right. But he is not understanding that way. Yeah. I understood.
Cool.
I understood the message.
Yep.
Anyway.
Interesting.
Right. So, yeah, should we? I mean, we have been stuck in the first topic.
I mean, that was the main thing.
Topic, yeah.
Other than that, what was the thing which were saying for the end?
I mean, we have that thing, what do you call, like Wi-Fi 7,
7. Yeah.
which is coming out.
Yes.
I'm really pumped about it. I mean,
Yeah.
Wi-Fi 5 rolled out with a very, very, very low adoption. While the Wi-Fi 6 is now de facto standard.
Yeah, everywhere.
Wi-Fi 5 is everywhere. That is it. Right? And there are places, I'm telling you, underlining, where there is no 5 gigahertz.
Yeah.
2.4 is only there.
My home, man.
Yeah, there you go. In his home, in Abhijit's home. Right?
In my home.
Yeah.
Except my personal laptop. Every device is 2.4.
Correct.
So
Right.
there is no point for getting 5.
Absolutely.
Now there are multiple devices because of work and all this. But yeah, earlier it was this case.
So what I'm saying is, I'm pumped because
Yeah.
the Ethernet never progressed from 1 Gbps. Just saying. I don't see any laptops released with more than 1 Gbps speed. Have you seen?
No.
No, right? And I have also not seen. Maybe like some enterprise grade quad core laptops, but not really the normal laptops. I mean, even gaming series laptops, they all come with 1 Gbps.
Correct.
But what I'm really interested is Wi-Fi 6E, right? 6E introduced 2 Gbps
Okay.
to Wi-Fi.
Okay.
But this is 2 Gbps theoretically. So you will get around 1 Gbps
Interesting.
in practice, right?
Okay.
I mean, when you see ideal situation, maybe 1.5, right? Pushing it. I mean, we know 300N, right?
Yeah.
Which gets 150 Mbps, right? So technically, we can say same theory to here. But the Wi-Fi 7 is promising 3 Gbps,
Oh.
right?
Oh.
So we should at least get 1.5 guaranteed.
100% with Mimo and all this.
Absolutely. So what I'm really looking forward to is just saying Intel and Qualcomm, I think, made this standard, right?
Okay.
What I'm really looking forward is to have the adoption of 7 instead of 6E.
Okay.
Because 6E is anyway just an increment of 6.
Yeah.
And we have a very big leap.
Yeah.
7.
Right.
And more cheaper, Wi-Fi devices
Interesting.
with it. I haven't seen any power differences. Wi-Fi 7 is 7 GHz as usual. Right? Wi-Fi 6 was 6 GHz.
Cool.
Wi-Fi 5 AC, right? AC was 5 GHz.
5 gigabytes, yeah.
And N and all those others are 2.4.
Correct.
So technically we have more speed, more hertz. That means lesser penetration through the walls and all those things. So
We need more
signal,
APs.
yeah. signal strength will be harder to do.
I mean, that is fine, man. Unless and until it is fast.
Correct.
I am willing to put more APs.
Actually, in AMD office, I have never seen AX Wi-Fi's.
Okay,
Have you seen any AX Wi-Fi's in your office?
I have not noticed.
Okay, probably not. I think. Why no improvements? Bluetooth improved.
Yeah,
Bluetooth just improved.
It improved like hell.
Yeah.
LE and those things, man.
Yeah, I mean BLE was already there, right? In Bluetooth standard, but it was just there.
Yeah.
This is Bluetooth. BLE is here. I mean, okay, let me just come on camera. This is Bluetooth.
Yeah.
BLE is somewhere over here, right?
Yep.
And that is normally used for IoT and all those stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was the situation of BLE.
Mm.
And even remote controls, right? Use BLE. But that was it. End of story. But now they have released a new standard which takes audio into BLE.
Yes.
And a new codec to go with it. Right? And that codec is lossy, but way better than SBC.
That is good.
And the I think on the whole thing that this is not proprietary. This is open standard.
There you.
So that means there is going to be an adoption.
Yes.
Compared to that, whatever APTX.
APTX and
And
APTX
yeah.
I mean,
what was Sony's thing?
LD?
Yeah, something like that. So there are so many standards,
Yeah.
which are all really good. But the problem is the tax of adopting it. If I am a manufacturer, I want to put it in my device, I have to contact this particular brand who owns a copyright or owns a patent to this thing.
Man, technically you cannot even put APTX or APTX HD unless you have a Qualcomm processor with you.
Correct.
MediaTek doesn't go with it.
Absolutely. That's
the shit.
And see. I'm not really worried about the phones. I'm really worried about the Bluetooth devices.
Yeah.
The headphones. Those are the things which will get expensive.
Correct.
And those are things people don't need to be. Like, you will pay 5,000 for a wired headphone. People pay 700 for a wireless headphone.
Yeah.
Right? At that point, how can a manufacturer also certify APTX?
Exactly.
They can do it. But with this technology, they can at least provide a better audio. I'm not talking I'm not saying this is better. Way better than APTX. APTX is better, obviously. But SPC was here.
Yeah.
Now we have something which is here. APTX is here, just a little bit above.
Correct.
Right? And the I think on the whole cake is that this comes with a very low power consumption.
There you go.
Because of a very low bit rate.
Correct.
And yeah, I mean Bluetooth improvements are there, man. It's absolutely there.
They will run, I guess, 5x, maybe at least 3x of the original runtime of the battery. Right?
Absolutely. We are already talking 1 day backup with headphones. And this will be like 3 days.
Man, headphones.
Yeah.
They have weeks of backup. The good ones.
Correct.
Now it was months. So pretty good, man.
Yeah, I mean, if we are playing sound 24/7, this doesn't count. Just saying.
Yeah, of course.
The speakers are the most power consuming thing in your headphones.
Correct.
So probably these all are like
very
generic
use case. Like
generic use cases.
Listening to some music and then YouTube.
Probably some calls in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Now and then.
Correct.
Probably some idle time, just having it in your head.
Just hanging around.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. I mean, talking about which, you know what happened this week? I came to your home.
Okay.
Came to destroy.
Absolutely.
And wait a second. So these headphones.
Yeah.
I inserted this headphones into destroyer.
Yep.
And felt the full supremacy of these things.
Yep.
The potential of this thing. So the what I'm trying to say is, when I first bought it,
yes,
I used it with my personal laptop, right?
Yeah, normal laptop.
Asus VivoBook S15. That is a normal, very deck.
Normal deck.
Normal deck, generic deck. I felt bass was very low.
Correct.
Because I'm a bass head.
Yeah.
Also, I'm an audiophile, but bass head. So the bass was very low. I increased through equalizer and went flute.
Whenever, but you called, I told you, it
Yeah.
was not able to drive the bass.
Yeah, you were saying it is clipping.
Yes.
And I agree. Correct.
Yeah.
Then came the
Work
laptop in my life. There is some
In the
extra-
meanwhile, there was also phone, which was completely cracked. You
Yeah.
just ignored it.
phone I put 100%. Then it drives. Cool.
Right.
Not laptop level. But
It just drives.
just drives.
It just drives.
Just to listen. Just to listen. So yeah, then came the Dell. Dell has very better tech. DEC is digital to analog converter, right?
Correct.
So technically, whatever your videos are playing, the video players is giving out the audio in terms of a digital signal. A DEC is the thing which converts that to analog.
Yes.
And this whole thing works on analog. There is no microcontroller there.
So just saying, the whole world is analog. So in order to interface with the world,
At least human.
nothing. Yeah, humans. It has to be at last converted to some analog signal.
Analog. Yeah.
So here, what is happening is Mike is taking the analog signal and then creating a digital signal using an ADC. Then we are doing the processing and everything in our computer. But at last, we need that DAC to convert it back to the analog realm for us humans to really, make it work. I mean, listen, right?
Yeah.
So DAC is a very core component as well as ADC. Okay?
Yeah.
If we are taking the ADC out of the equation, let's say a studio is producing the music,
Exactly.
right? Then they should be using very high end ADCs.
Yeah.
For sure, 100%.
Absolutely.
So now the question is, how good is your DAC? Can it produce the enough signal steps?
The exact signal.
Yeah, enough steps or to produce exact signal that the original ADC did.
Correct.
Right. So for that, you have high end DACs.
Yeah.
Then there is also amplifiers. So these DACs produce a very low energy signal, right? Because they are not really meant for driving stuff.
Correct.
They are just meant for creating the signal.
Yes. Correct.
So with this reference signal, there are amplifiers which takes it and amplifies it. For example, in your speakers, you have an amplifier, and that amplifier takes a people signal from your headphone jack and amplifies it to very big, probably 100 watts signal. Right? But in case of our headphone, we need a tiny amplifier which helps it to drive at least in a 200 milliwatts to 300 milliwatts range.
Right.
And that can be done directly by the DAC. So there is we can say preamp, right, to amplify the signal. And after the preamp only the signal is coming out through the headphone jack.
Correct.
So technically the headphone jack can drive more than what a line out in a PC can do.
Correct.
So just saying, if you have a PC, if you have connected headphones in a line out, do remove them.
Yeah.
It is not supposed to drive a headphone.
Yes.
Even though sound will come out.
Right.
It won't be correct, it won't be good, it will be technically bad. But the thing is, if you have a preamp after that, for example, you are using speakers, then technically it is fine. It's same. I mean, it should be same as the headphone jack in your computer. So
yeah. Then I use. Then it comes.
So there's a question. I mean, just saying, we are all on the topic, right? What is software DAC and hardware DAC? So there is no software DAC and hardware DAC. DAC is always the hardware.
Absolutely.
Right. There is software decoder and hardware decoder. So these are like the files we get. For example, MP3, right? Or even the YouTube videos, which comes with AAC.
Yeah.
AAC.
AAC.
So these all are compressed audio.
Yep.
So why compressed is because these are very large data points we are talking about. And if we are taking the raw data points and putting it, it will be called a wave, wave audio. That is non-compressed, lossless audio. And even 5 minutes of that 16-bit audio will cost around 30-40 MBs of disk space.
Interesting.
So in the old days, people used to use this format. And at some time they were like, oh no, you know what? Maybe there's a pattern in this audio signals. We can compress them.
Okay.
Right? Then less compression came out. Right? And people started sending this, data. I mean, see, I can send sounds to you via dial, but now I don't have to send that much bits.
I see.
Lesser bits. Right? And at some time, a breakthrough occurred called lossy compression, where they'll be like, okay, you know what? Humans can't perceive every bit and detail of the signal.
Yeah.
Right? Most of them, I mean, some of them can, but still saying it is, at some point there is diminishing returns. But humans can't perceive that much. So why not just lose some data and smooth it out, right? A little bit to fit any compression. So you can say data, compressed, decompressed data. The original data and the decompressed data doesn't match.
Absolutely.
But to a listener, both will feel same.
Yeah, because there are very less
differences. So here the file size is changed from, normally the 40 MB changed to around 15 MB ish. Then that 15 MB now changed to 5 MB ish.
Yeah.
So technically the 40 MB changed to 5 MB ish.
Correct.
That is where we stand with MP3s and AAC.
Yeah.
AAC audio.
Yeah.
And basically what happens is these audio signals has to be decoded, right? So we can have different ways to decode. For audio, 99.99% of the time, the decoding is done on software. Because CPUs are way faster already.
For them, decoding is
nothing.
Correct.
But video is very hard.
Yeah.
Because video is compressed to move, and when you think about just a screen, right? If you just do some calculation, so what I'm saying is very simple calculation. You have a 1080p display. 1920 by 1080 pixels are there.
Yeah.
1920 multiplied by 1080.
Let's calculate.
Yeah, let's calculate.
Exactly.
So
should we do 4K or just
no, just 1080 because
1920
by multiplied by
cross
1080.
Right.
So these many, so around 2 million pixels are there in an HD screen, not 4K, HD.
HD screen. Correct.
Whatever this is multiplied by 4 will literally be 4K. The same.
Yeah.
So now in each pixel there is three subpixels.
Really? Yeah.
3 subpixels.
Yes.
So those are RGB.
Yeah. Now it's 6.2
Yeah, 6.2 million. Subpixels.
Yes.
Now each subpixel will have a bit depth.
Yes.
Right. So normally it is 8 bit.
8 bit.
So literally we can take this as the byte. Right. So 6.2 million bytes currently. Right. And 6.2 million is how much? 6.2 megabytes.
Yeah.
And this is per frame.
Perfect.
One frame of the video signal takes 6.2 MBs.
Yes.
What if we multiply by 30 MBs?
Oh, let's see.
Right?
Let's see.
So if we just multiply by 30, we get 186 MB.
Yeah.
For 1 second of a video.
Yeah.
So now if we talk 5 seconds, that is multiplied by 60 into 5.
Yeah, 60 already. 60. 5 minutes, right?
5 minutes.
Okay, you said 5 seconds. No problem.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah. It is around, 55 billion.
So basically 55 GB.
Yes.
So does a 5-minute video, in your computer, probably a song of who? Like, can you say an artist? Like Bruno Mars. I was thinking the same artist somehow. Maybe we are listening to
the same song
Bruno Mars
5 times.
Right. So a 5-minute video of Bruno Mars, maybe like some song like 24K Magic, right? Takes this much GB in your disk.
Oh.
Will you be happy? 55 GBs, right? Yeah, Rick Astley. Yeah, why not? Will you be happy? Absolutely not, right? So what happens is this goes through lossy compression.
Correct.
That lossy compression, most commonly used lossy compression are 3 types: H.264, H.265, and AV1. There are VP9 and VP8 just saying floating around in the Google space.
Yeah, YouTube
Right.
and all those things you said.
So what is happening is this algorithm
Yeah.
takes this raw signal and compresses it lossy way, right,
Okay.
into very small data. So probably it will take 200 MB new disk, right?
Cool.
So now what happens is the computation is immense
Yeah.
to take all these pixels and cram it down to 200 MBs. So what we have come up with is a dedicated hardware
Yes.
which can decode it for us,
Absolutely.
right? And you send this compressed data,
Yeah.
it will decompress it directly for you, or you send the decompressed data, it will compress it for you.
There is no delay.
Yeah,
In the
it's called codec, coder, decoder.
Yes.
So coding part is decompressed data comes in, compressed data comes out.
Correct.
Decoding is compressed data comes in, you decode it, that is the decompressed data comes out.
These are all parts of the GPU.
These are inside the GPU. These can be external to the GPU. This can be codec card. It can be anywhere.
Yeah.
The codec is anywhere.
Correct.
So technically, what I'm saying is your phone can decode hardware or in software, because this is literally an algorithm. Algorithm can be implemented in hardware or software. If you give to hardware, CPU has enough time to do all the jobs.
Yeah. Correct.
So CPU doesn't have to do anything, right? And the hardware will be also very less power consumption. I mean, to have very less power consumption.
Yes.
Because hardware is just designed to do this particular thing and that thing only.
Correct.
If we are not decoding or encoding, this codec is useless. This hardware is useless.
Absolutely.
That is the only problem. But CPU can do anything given an algorithm. Give it an algorithm, it can become the hardware.
Correct.
But the only problem is it will be way slower than the actual hardware,
Yeah.
which does it.
Yeah. Basically. Absolutely.
Basically.
We are seeing it. SVP and SVP also converts to 60 FPS and your TV also converts to 60 FPS. But TV
Correct.
doesn't bat an eye because it has a
It's the
dedicated
hardware.
chip.
Hardware. And that those are interpolation hardware. We are not talking about that. We came into the talk, right? That's all.
Right.
So what is happening is the hardware might also cause a little bit of a quality degradation, right? So the picture quality may not be that good.
Yeah.
Right? So some people like software decoders because they want the best picture quality.
Yeah. Software decoders do the exact.
Yeah, and they are also optimizations of algorithms.
Yes.
And these optimizations get go into software, but the hardware requires a new physical hardware to be implemented, and that requires a new phone or new graphics card or new codec, card.
Yeah.
Right? So it literally requires a new thing in your hand, and you don't want to do that, right?
Yeah.
So technically, if you ask me, if you can decode via hardware, go hardware route, because you can't technically feel the difference between software and hardware.
Okay.
If you are playing videos on YouTube,
Yeah.
if you have a Blu-ray, then might be worth it.
Right.
But still, I'm saying the energy consumption to use a CPU to decode is way higher when compared to energy consumption of hardware decoding.
Correct.
To a point where hardware decoding a video stream doesn't even make sense
Yep.
unless you don't have the codec in your hardware doesn't support. Then you can go. So technically, so many phones are there, right? And most of the mid-end phones can't decode 4K
Okay.
in software. The reason is it just lacks the processing power to do so.
Yep.
Right? And the high-end phones can do it.
Yeah.
But the only problem is the consequence of battery. Maybe playing 1 hour of YouTube will reduce 20% of battery.
Yeah.
This will reduce like 40-50% of the battery. And it will heat up again.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that.
Correct.
Technically, in computers, I think in desktops and all, people prefer software decoding compared to hardware decoding
Because they have the CPU power.
CPU power. They have the INF. And this is where it is also superior. Just saying, Apple is superior with Android only because they have better hardware,
Yes.
better hardware accelerators
Correct.
for all the job.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, okay, where did we start actually? Okay, we were talking about the story.
Yeah.
Came back
Then
to
I
story.
inserted this check to destroy it.
Yeah,
And I felt that there is no need of any equalizer in this headphone man.
absolutely.
Because the DAC in destroyer is so powerful. You should
Plus,
look at the capacity.
amplifier is power.
Amplifier is powerful. Correct.
DAC is precise, amplifier is power.
It has those capacitors. You showed me.
Yes.
Correct. So basically, they are the ones who is basically giving the oomph to the audio.
Correct.
Correct. So yeah, I heard the voice, man. See, bass and all, no need for any kind of equalizing and increasing the bass. There is no need, right?
Correct.
The voice, it sounded like real person in front of me. Even the music, Taylor Swift, you showed me 2-3 songs.
Yeah.
Charlie Puth, everything sounded like the person is literally in front of me.
Yes.
Because those person don't use any filters and all those things, and these headphones produces the exact voice.
Exactly.
So my point is that if you are going for, if you're an audiophile, if you're going for costly headphones and wired headphones, do use a desktop or at least an external sound card or maybe amplifier to drive it.
Headphone
app, yeah. Otherwise, if you drive it using a phone or maybe laptop or something like that, it won't be able to drive because
Correct.
those shittier manufacturers.
Yes.
I mean, they are not shitty because they don't have the space. At that point, they are correct.
Yeah, I mean, technically, they are thinking, okay, what do the consumer need?
Yeah.
Do they need a high-end audio output, or they just need an audio output?
Yeah.
Most people will say they just need an audio output,
99%.
right? And they just need a better speakers in the laptop. In the laptop space, the DACs and amplifier are not the problem. The literal speakers are the problem. And normally people don't use headphones also. I mean, I don't see people using headphones that much. And now people have moved into wireless space to a point where like now laptop manufacturers will be like, hi, yeah, why are we even putting a DAC inside? Right? What is the point?
Yeah, tablet manufacturers have already removed it, just saying.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, so there are some devices floating around.
Correct.
Like Samsung S7.
Yes.
Tablet. That's a tablet.
So
S7 tab. So we were what do you say, exclaimed after knowing that doesn't have a DAC at all.
Absolutely.
So if you connect, first of all, it doesn't have any 3.5mm jack. So if you cannot connect this to that, you need a 3.5mm, USB Type C to 3.5mm converter. And even after you connect that, the software will say the device doesn't support this device because there is no DAC.
There is no DAC.
Yeah.
Because technically it can only spit out data.
Yeah. And this won't understand anything.
This connector doesn't have a digital to analog converter, which takes the digital signal and converts it to analog. And when we are talking digital signals, just saying, these are uncompressed signals directly flowing into this, right? And they can be literally compressed. I mean, in the nowadays DACs are like a little bit, codec plus a DAC kind of thing, right?
Correct.
It's like it will follow some sort of compression because technically reducing bit rate, number of bits to be sent via lines literally requires lesser number of lines and lesser frequency. So,
correct.
Lesser pricey overall. Right?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yep.
So technically we can put more die inside the chip and make much more easier communication. But all thrown out, you can say literal uncompressed data is coming through. And DAC is technically taking each data point and applying it into analog spectrum. Right?
Understood.
Technically.
Yeah.
Literally like that.
Yeah.
And what is happening is that thing is not even there inside the tablet.
Understood.
And that takes maybe, I don't know, like 1 millimeter cross 1 millimeter of the phone space.
Yeah.
Probably.
Very small. Very small.
And they are like, you know what? Cut it off.
Yep.
Because Bluetooth sends digital signals.
Yeah.
DAC is inside the Bluetooth headphone. People are all using Bluetooth. Why even have a DAC inside?
Exactly.
And actually Preet really understood the point of why we have to be in control of the DAC once he plugged into Destroyer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would have never understood the full potential of these headphones. I was like always thinking, why do I need to use equalizer on a studio monitor?
Correct.
For bass.
Absolutely.
Now I know.
You'll be like, these people these directors are like, you know what? Let's make it bland.
Yeah.
Make it bland.
Yeah.
You'll be like, okay, this is how they designed the song to
Yeah.
be
I
bland.
thought, why they are not putting bass? I thought like that.
Yeah,
But I was wrong.
they are putting the bass.
They are putting the accurate bass. They are putting the bass such that your ears won't get fatigued.
Correct. And see, the bass is shifted when you do an equalizer.
Yes.
This is perfect bass.
Yeah, this is the actual bass which they put.
And what I'm saying is, if you recreate the song in your home or whatever place, you'll hear the exact sound
Correct.
of what this is producing.
Yes.
And that is the reason why these are the headphones used by musicians directly.
Yeah. Correct.
Even voice actors
Yeah.
use these high-end
Man, I'm telling you,
headphones.
the voice in this was exact. I mean,
Exactly.
if I record your voice with a really high-end ADC
Yeah.
and play it in the store, I'll be like, yeah, sorry that I'll be hearing your exact voice because
Absolutely.
the speakers are really good. Yeah, there's a point when we have to technically go with very high-end.
Very high-end. I mean, like now I have a condenser microphone. In the old days, it used to be that the DAC, I mean ADC is inside the laptop or whatever device. We connect the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Now the thing is, the microphone is a whole thing. Right? Now people don't want to buy literally, even I am a part of it. They don't want to buy a phantom power.
Cool.
They don't want to get another ADC, which is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Then plug in this, plug in that. Then so many equipments. Plug the whole thing into the laptop.
Yep.
Right? Where they have just an USB. Boom,
Yeah.
connected. Mic is powered, amplifier is powered, ADC is already inside, digital signal is delivered.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Right? And that is what these things are. I mean, I can literally lift up this without making much noise, right?
Yeah.
So this is a microphone which does everything
Yep.
inside.
Yep.
And we don't know how much quality the DAC is, I mean ADC is. We don't know how good the actual microphone is.
Correct.
We can only evaluate the microphone as a whole.
Yeah.
So yeah, technically I have seen that this can produce 32-bit audio.
Cool. That is
So
good.
yeah, it should be good, but we don't know if that 32-bit is correct or 16-bit interpolated in the 32-bit.
Yeah,
That is way
that
worse.
also-
We can technically find it out, by some, plotting it out. Hard steps, right?
Correct.
Jagged steps. So yeah. Anyway, that is another topic. So what do you think?
I think that's all.
It's already 11:37. Like a lot of people are getting sleepy right now, probably. Right?
Yeah.
So
If you guys have any questions, please let us know. We are waiting for, I guess, some minutes.
yeah, absolutely. If you have any doubts regarding the topic we discussed or something else, you want to discuss about something you want to think about in tech field, right?
Correct.
You can always let us know. And just as a side note, I think Ryzens are still beating Intel.
Yeah, always, man. As always. Now it is very normal.
Yeah, so probably again, I'm still betting on getting a newest Raptor or whatever they call, right? Not Raptor, I think. Sorry, Phoenix or Genova or Phoenix or something.
Okay.
Totally forgot the code name, right? So that thing, probably when it comes out, I'll probably buy and assemble a server.
Cool.
So yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Anyway, now pre-tender chance. Why desktops are way superior than laptops?
Yeah, I mean, see, for me, performance I already knew that desktops can do next level. But this was the point when I decided that I really need a desktop. Or what do you say, amp or sound card. But the thing is that will only improve the audio part. What about other parts? So yeah, desktop is a need.
Desktop has consistent performance. Any hardware can be chosen according to your need, completely tailored. So, like if you need a better camera, you can attach a better camera. And we're still, I know we can attach it to laptop, but that consumes USBs, right? And we don't want to have a bulky setup.
Correct.
The laptops are all about simplicity, right?
Yes.
So desktops are all about chunkiness, and once you do it, you don't move stuff, right? Then having a good end speakers,
Yep.
right? Having a good motherboard,
Yeah,
and
that
good
is very
motherboard,
important.
which comes with all the things you need. Maybe short circuit
Right.
protection if you are planning to do some Arduino or
Yeah.
some kind of a
Correct.
coding stuff. I mean, maybe microcontroller programming and all. Maybe a little bit of protection in the
Correct.
circuitry is good. So maybe a high-end processor, depending on what you need, right? I mean, do you need a higher-end processor? Even if you don't need a higher-end processor, but even you need a higher-end motherboard, you can do that in desktops. But you can't do it in a laptop. The higher-end motherboard comes with the higher-end CPU.
Correct.
Always. And there is always a choice of RAM. You can keep on increasing or decreasing RAM.
Yep.
You can sell your RAM and get a new RAM if you want. Right? In laptops, it is technically possible.
Yeah.
It is harder to do.
Unless it is not sold.
Correct. Absolutely.
Those sheets are coming.
So, yeah, at last, at the end of the day, it's all about flexibility.
Yeah.
And, one more thing is you will be much more comfortable leaving your desktops running 24/7 than laptops.
Yeah, what he's saying is laptops, except the Macs, end up like a desktop, which are non-upgradable after 3 years because the battery is kind of sitting.
Correct.
And they're bulky enough. There's a time process the laptop is thin or
it's like a desktop. I mean, still we can't call it a desktop. The main reason being the desktops are way superior in terms of performance and the consistency of delivery performance. We are talking MacBook with M1 and all those things will deliver consistently. I mean, that is what we have seen.
Yeah.
But still,
desktop level no.
It begs a question, right? Does M1 perform as good as a way high-end flagship? I still think it is not.
No.
It is still a mid-end, competitor.
The problem is that they're different architecture. If you put the M1 to the similar load of what the risk and risk is going through, probably you don't handle.
So see,
the applications are not compatible again.
CISC is basically complex instruction set that is running in your laptops and all those things. RISC is reduced instruction set running in your phones and all those things. What Apple did was Apple introduced a RISC CPU into laptops. Right. So these are technically totally different hardware to a point where both will not run the same code you have written. But technically what we can do is the algorithm is same. So if you want to compute a prime number, let's say a prime number, let find given an n, is n a prime number. So if you are given a problem, you can find the optimal algorithm, most optimal algorithm for the hardware, then most optimal algorithm for the other hardware. Run it parallel and find which one finds more prime numbers in a particular time. And if you take prime numbers and make prime numbers per second, then there a score is there. That is called a benchmark. Technically, that can be taken as the real world, right? So real world, what do you want? More numbers out. Right? So technically, we can benchmark between them. Yes. So that is why Geekbench and all those benches started. Where they have the same algorithm compiled for different hardware, running different instructions, giving same comparable numbers. Right? And we have still seen that these MacBooks just perform as good as for iPhone. In desktop, we are not talking laptop. Laptops, they are completely blown up process speed, right? But in desktops, we are still seeing that i7s and i9s are way better. And when we talk about Ryzen has killed both of them in i7 and i9. So we are talking way better skills. And at last, there is server. People are never talking about server grade stuff. There are a lot of servers, and servers, what they have is lot of cores. If you literally do a multi-threaded bench in a server and compare against a MacBook M1, that's nothing.
Yeah.
The score is nothing. That is the reason why AMD or Intel manufactures this processor. They are not afraid because Apple is not even planning to go into server market with these chips.
Yeah, correct, absolutely.
And it's very hard to go into server market.
See, what Rishikesh told is exactly relating with it, with this. Depends on task. Using things like Docker is still a pain in the arm.
Yeah, but that is a software limitation still.
See, the problem is that it's a pain because Docker is not able to develop the thing which can properly run.
Maybe a hardware support for virtualization is the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes time. It takes time. It will come. These all are software, little bit of hardware limitations, but these things will come. But we are really talking the real performance. Can I run Prime 95? Let's say Prime 95. Prime 95. What is the score I get in? MacBook. A simple algorithm. How many primes per second? And how Prime 95 I run in server. Single threaded, probably this will beat. Multi-threaded, done. The MacBook scores are nothing. At that point, enterprise customers will always go for this 100 core, 200 core, 300 core machine, which can do like a lot of things. And as long as and still, see, according to my logic, Apple can't do that. See, Apple has put the memory on top of the processor.
Okay.
How are they supposed to stack 2 TB of RAM on top of this thing? My basic answer, no, they can't. They can't stack that much. On desktop, they are giving 32 GB of RAM. Max. The Mac Pros and all those things.
Yeah.
And 32 GB of RAM it is. I mean, it's not 6. It is on top of the thing.
Yeah. Right.
The server, they want upgradability, they want repairability. Where is the repairability? Where is the upgradability?
Yes.
They have discussed all those things.
Yeah, enterprise grade things when they won't tolerate this shit.
Yes.
Soldering and all those things.
Correct. So that is the reason why I think these M1s and all these ARM M series will be utter failure if they take it to the server grade.
No, they cannot.
They cannot be.
Yeah.
So that is the reason why I don't think Intel and AMD is ever afraid of these chips.
True.
Even beating them.
True.
Maximum what they can do is maybe kill the desktop lineup.
Correct.
That is all they can do at max. Yeah. And probably not the desktop, the laptop side.
Yeah.
So, just food for the brain.
Okay, so I think there are no more questions and queries to discuss.
Sure.
Cool, man. So, it was interesting. Today, we didn't have much topic, but we discussed. Good.
Yeah, and Preet is in my home. Just saying.
Yeah, this is the way also. So technically, this was his lab, right?
The old days.
Yeah, they are the remnants of the lab.
Correct.
Yeah.
Lab has moved.
Yep.
So technically now he came from Gujarat all the way down to Kerala.
Yeah.
The South India.
Yeah, I'm slowly
Hope he doesn't end up in Sri Lanka. Just saying.
At this rate, I'll go to Sri Lanka, roam around the whole world and go to Kashmir, this way, not this way, the other way.
Understood.
Yeah.
At that point, you should have already crossed China. Just saying.
Yeah, Himalayas and all those. China, I won't enter it. I'll fly.
Yeah, absolutely. They will probably knock you down, but
above the
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Even if you go above radars, they will be having some kind of IDAR or something. Idiot radar or something. It fires in all directions, no matter what.
Yeah,
the Soviet type. I mean, from Russia.
Yep.
You may have to also deal with that.
Yeah.
Because Russia is also there. This side.
What I can do is technically, let's come through North Korea. North Korea won't be expecting anyone. They'll be thinking, we are North Korea. No one is going to go above us. They'll set up everything. That's the moment I'll go.
The moment you go through North Korea, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
the first nuke is going to go to US. US spying on. Then US will be like, what the hell just happened? They're going to send the then what is going to happen is Biden is going to press the red big button,
Yeah.
which the other guy, who was the other guy?
Jimmy?
N-1 president.
Barack Obama.
Not Barack Obama.
Oh.
In between there was one.
Oh,
Now it's Biden,
oh, that person. The
the orange guy.
Yeah. What's the name? What? Oh, man. What is the name? What is the name? The president's president looks like a bird.
Interesting.
Yeah, understood. Everyone understood this point.
Yeah, everyone understood. So that guy is told, Trump, that guy told, there is a giant button
Yeah.
which if he presses, news will be sent all over the world. And Biden will be like, poop, 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 right? That's what news go all over the world. And Russia already told, they also have a bigger button,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which this person can push.
Meanwhile, in England, everyone is sad because the Queen is sad.
Correct. And that is also that.
Yeah, that's also going on in the side.
And they'll
Oh,
be like, and the king will be like, you know what? I resign.
I just
I don't want to deal with this new
I just joined yesterday. What the hell is happening? I don't know.
All because Freed just traveled.
Yeah. All because I traveled from Israel to Kerala at this rate.
There you go.
There is interpretation going on.
There you go. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, man. So yeah, I guess we'll come every Sunday, guys, and we'll discuss good topics. Next week, man, it's going to be exciting.
Absolutely. 3
new phones from Motorola is releasing, so we'll know.
And we'll be back in Bangalore.
Yeah, we'll be back, and also we'll know how those phones are.
Yeah.
We'll discuss about it in next week. So stay tuned for the review of Motorola.
So anyway, those are going to be expensive, right?
Yeah, 50K, 70K, and maybe some about 30K. 30K, I'm not interested.
So basically, better to buy a Samsung.
Yeah,
At that point, at that rate.
At that rate, just go with Samsung. Cool. Yeah, we'll discuss about next podcast. So till then, share it with your friends and goodbye.
Let's roll it out.